We are back for day 2 of the Summer League. We got a 4-game main slate we're going to be talking about in this video. Really quick, just special shout out to all you guys. Whether the support's been crazy last couple days on YouTube, Twitter. So I just wanted to really thank you guys again for all that. Like I said, we'll be talking about the 4-game slate in this video. The sponsored video, that would be Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a player prop site that does offer Summer League stuff. If you guys are not on Prize Picks and you want to get on it, you can use the code DKDFS for a 100% match up to $100. It'll be linked down below. And if you're looking for more in-depth content for DFS or for Prize Picks, you can check out my Patreon link down below. Phenomenal day so far in Prize Picks. Went 3-1 in WNBA. I think I'm like 5-1 on NBA Summer League. The only miss I have so far, Scoot Henderson, I took his over 15.5 points. He had 15 points midway through the third and got injured. That's the only miss I have so far. If Christie and AJ Griffin go over the points prop, I'm going to have a massive, massive day. But yeah, if Scoot Henderson ends up being the only play I miss in Summer League Prize Picks, I'm going to be really, really upset. Really, really upset. But let's go over my early slate lineup, my turbo lineup, and then my main slate lineup. I still have a lot of players going right now, so that is still in the works. But here is my early slate lineup. And I finished second place. And yeah, had a nice solid ROI. Marcus Noel, or what's it? I think it's Marcus. Kansas State, right? Kansas State guy who was like played really well in the tournament last year. Got him at very low ownership. We did get that starting lineup just like a minute or two before lock, and ended up slotting him in there, left a little bit of salary on the table. Worked out in a big way. Terry shot like 4 of 17. EJ Liddell was disappointing and didn't see as many minutes as I thought he would. Daniels was solid. Miller was really good. What I want to know is how on earth did the Colin Gillespie faders know, man? This guy's like a Rajon Rondo-esque stuff. The stat sheet does nothing of the peripherals. 2 boards, 2 assists. Come on, man. How did the faders know? That's a really good Denver team. How did the faders know? So I'm asking. With the early slate, you faded Colin Gillespie. How did you know? How did you know? And then, yeah, obviously, in this contest, Watson was 100% owned. I thought he was the best value in the board. But, yeah, it was a really good day in the early slate. And then I came very close to taking down the, turbo slate. So I played both the Nets guards in the backcourt, that being Kennedy Chandler and David Duke. Wilson as well. Isaiah Mobley had a big game. He stuffed a stat sheet. I did play Victor Wembanyama on this slate, but faded him on the main slate. We talked about this on Patreon, how I wasn't confident that he was going to play full minutes, and he did not. I think, what did he finish with minutes-wise? I want to say it was like low 20s. I'm going to have to go back and look. Amani Bates, low own, shot like 2 of 50 from the field. I did have his over, was it 14.5 points? So that was good that he ended up going over. Brandon Miller at low ownership. Again, this is the turbo slate. There wasn't a lot of spend up, so used him and Victor Wembanyama. And then Malachi Branham to round out this lineup. So I came close. I think first place, this was just the big tournament. First place was 276. I was 266. Danny just beat me with his lineup train, so that cost me some money. Definitely. Yeah, what did he have? Chandler, Duke, Wilson. Oh, so he had, okay. Who had another big game. All right, well, so that's the recap. Great day so far. It's going to be a great day no matter what on Prize Picks. Super profitable, but a great day so far in Draftkings. I'm hoping the late games can pick it up a little bit. I have a lot of exposure to the late game. I'm going to have Christie. I have Griffin. I have Castleton. I have Kada. I have a lot of guys in the late game. So I know that the Kings-Hawks game was really low scoring in the first half, so hoping that can then pick it up. And then I have a good amount of exposure in that Lakers game as well. Okay. So that's the recap of everything from me on DFS. We had a lot of takedowns. I'll tweet some stuff out since, again, it's still going on right now. I'll tweet some stuff out at the end of the night of members. We had multiple people at takedowns already, first slate of the year. So you'll love to see that. And yeah, let's see if we can keep that going for this slate. Again, like I said, Twitter's your best friend. And if you guys are looking for that, I post every single piece of news possible, right? I post on Patreon how we got a little snippet of how Kennedy Chandler was playing the best of the Nets in practice. I posted that. I posted about the Victor Wembanyama and how he wasn't confident he was going to play a whole lot of minutes. That was posted on Patreon. So again, things can change very quickly in some way. You have to be ready to adjust. And I post projected starting lineups. I also post the actual starting lineups when we get them, if we do get them before lock. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do. So again, if you guys are looking for that, if you want that edge, link down below. All right, Memphis and Chicago. So Memphis, we kind of know what's going to happen here for the Grizzlies. They're going to play really only interested in the starting five. That would be Williams, LaRavia, Lofton, Roddy, and Gilliard. I think factoring in salary, Kenneth Lofton, probably my favorite option, 7'4". Just the best point per minute of this bunch. I think has the highest ceiling. Great rebounder, can stuff a stat sheet. And you kind of saw what in one of the games at the end of the summer league last year, went for 53 in 28 minutes. He had a big game at the end of the regular season as well. So I think Lofton's my favorite, but that doesn't mean I don't have interest in guys like Williams and LaRavia as well. LaRavia, relatively score independent, but a guy that can put the ball in the bucket, right? You kind of saw, relatively score independent. Look at the last 3 games of summer league for him last year. 5 fantasy points in 28 minutes. And then he was making his shots 23. Well, actually, he wasn't. That was just a weird game. And then 3. But usually he's relatively score independent. Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Nope. 5 boards, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. No, that's not a LaRavia stat line. LaRavia is usually a guy that relatively score independent, gets some rebounds here and there. But I think the floor is a little lower in LaRavia and Williams. That doesn't mean you can't play them. Both, I expect all the starters to play high 20s to low 30s minutes. But Lofton definitely my favorite. And then I'm pretty high on Dave Roddy as well at 6'1". He's a guy that, again, kind of do it in a lot of different ways. Expect pretty solid minutes from him. And then the point guard will be Jacob Gilliard, a guy that has a relatively high floor. I wouldn't say it's a super high ceiling, but a 5.4K, I think he's a pretty safe value play. So I have interest in the whole starting five. That's who I assume will be the starting five. That's what the starting five has been in 2 of the 3 games in the pre-summer league games. The one game they did not start was the one they rested all their main guys. So those are the guys I've interest in. Unless we hear otherwise and they end up resting guys, I'm probably not going to get to anyone else. You have Frankie Ferrari. He was on the Kings Summer League last year. He could, maybe be a value play if they rest Gilliard or whatever. But I'm pretty sure the main guys from Memphis are at least going to play a couple of games in the preseason. So really only interested in the starters there. For Chicago, so again, it was frustrating. Dalen Terry, did I have it updated? Yeah, he shot 4 of 14. He played 32 minutes, 10 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. He played the most out of anyone of the Chicago players. So I'm pretty high on Terry once again. I know he didn't have the best shooting game, but he played 30-plus minutes and is their go-to guy. Sonogo started. I think he played around 20 minutes. Don't love it. He's going to play the 5, but I think he's okay. I just think he's a little bit overpriced. You saw Turo kind of backing him up. Darling and Freedom. There's some cheaper options here that are viable. Freeman Liberty and Darling both started. They both played high 20s minutes. 4-1 for Darling. Flat 4K for Freeman Liberty. And then you also have Justin Lewis that played mid-20s minutes at the flat 4K as well. So favorite option, definitely Terry at the top, but there is value here. If you need value, you have basically min-price starters, Lewis, Freeman Liberty, and Nate Darling, assuming they continue to keep that same starting lineup, but I see no reason why they wouldn't. So there's definitely some value you can get to there for Chicago. Indiana and Washington, so this Pacers team is pretty loaded. You got Benedict Mathurin, you got Andrew Nembhard, you got Isaiah Jackson still surprisingly playing on Summer League team. I think they probably go the starting lineup of Mathurin, Nembhard, Walker, Jackson, and Shepard would be my guess. Looking at players and the price points, I'm pretty high on Isaiah Jackson, sub 8K. Would assume he starts and plays low to mid 20s minutes. He'll be super productive when he's on the court. I don't think he's going to play huge minutes, but he should dominate when he does play. Mathurin and Nembhard both look really good at the top. Mathurin should be the go-to guy offensively, but Nembhard's a guy that can stuff a stat sheet. So yeah, I like the two main guys at the top there for Indiana, and I like Isaiah Jackson in that mid-range. Rookies, Jarris, Walker, and Ben Shepherd, I think will probably be the other starters. What just happened there? So those guys are definitely viable. 8'3" for Walker, 6'9" for Shepherd. There's a couple other rookies here that I think are playable. King, rookie, was the 47th overall pick. Who else? Isaiah Wong was the 55th overall pick. Those guys should get some run as well if you needed some cheaper GBP plays. But again, I think the starting lineup will be Mathurin, Nembhard, Walker, Jackson, and Shepherd. All right, Washington. So Washington, bear with me here. I'm gonna mispronounce some of these names. I am. So you got to bear with me on this. But Johnny Davis 9K, he was absolutely awful last summer league. But he's been playing better a little bit of late, and he was playing better for the Wizards down the stretch in the regular season. So I expect him to be the clear go-to guy here on honestly a pretty bad summer league roster. So it's weird, but I actually do kind of like Johnny Davis there at the top. Rookie Bilal Coulibaly. Again, I might be mispronouncing that name, but I expect him to start and get a healthy amount of run. In France, he averaged 5-3 and 1 18.5 minutes. So he didn't get like a ton of run overseas, but expect him to start and get at least, I would say, mid-20s minutes. And then you got another rookie, Tristan Vukovic, who was drafted 42nd overall. He's a guy that at 6.2K, I do like a good amount there in the mid-range. So those would be the three main options for Washington. Not really sure who else will start here. Maybe you get Xavier Cooks in the starting lineup. I really don't know who the other starters will be. But I'm pretty sure, again, Davis, Coulibaly, Vukovic will be three of the starters. I'm not sure who the other two will be. So hopefully we do get that starting lineup before lock for the Wizards. And again, I'll be digging on Twitter trying to find that. Milwaukee and Phoenix. So Milwaukee, we got news about, I want to say 5 to 10 minutes before lock that both Wigginton and AJ Green are out. And what I think is going to happen here is I think they're just practicing with the Summer League team. They're not going to actually play. Now, I guess they could. There's a chance they could play tomorrow. But if you want my guess, I just don't think they're going to play in the Summer League. That being Wigginton, that being AJ Green. So that being said, you saw Marshawn Beauchamp and Nico Mannion kind of run the show offensively. Mannion got the start at the point at 4.5K. I like him quite a bit. Again, assuming that Wigginton doesn't play and Mannion starts at the point again. And then Beauchamp started really, really slow. But did pick it up, finished with 23, 8, 2, and 1 in 32 minutes. So Beauchamp and Nico Mannion, definitely my favorite options. Taco Fall started. I think he played like 15, 16 minutes. I don't love the price point, but it's like he'll be super productive when he's on the court. It's just you're not going to get huge minutes from him. Rookie Drew Timme only played like, I think it was like 10, 15 minutes on the bench. Not a ton of interest in him. The other guys that got run were the two draft picks here from Milwaukee. That was Chris Livingston at 5.2K. And Jackson here at 4.3. Both started. I think those guys are relatively similar to those Bulls value starters we mentioned. Both relatively cheap. Both should probably see mid-20s minutes, assuming, again, Green and Wigginton don't play. And that's what I'm under the assumption that both will just not going to play at all in the Summer League. So that's the case. Those two would open up for value. And then you got some backup 5 run for a guy like Tyler Cook, 4.3K. They have him listed as a small forward. He's more of a big, so I think he would also be someone you could look to there. Phoenix. So another one of the probably worst Summer League rosters, in my opinion. But surprisingly, Jordan Goodwin is going to be playing for the Summer League team for Phoenix. So on a roster, it's really, really bad. Unless we get confirmation that he's just not going to play, I think Goodwin stands out as one of the best spin ups on the board. Because it's like, look at some of these other teams that are a bit more loaded, but you look at this like Phoenix roster, it's really bad. There's just not a lot of talent on this team. So, I really, really like Jordan Goodwin, 8.5K. Isaiah Todd, I expect to start as well and probably play good minutes. I think he's reasonable. I think I prefer Goodwin if I'm going to pick between the two, but that doesn't mean you can't get to Todd. And then you got rookie Kamara. Kamara? I might be mispronouncing that. Kamara? I don't know. Again, I got to learn these names. I got to Google it and learn some of these names. I'm definitely mispronouncing them, but he's a guy that I actually do like a good amount in the mid-range. In college, he averaged 14, 9, and 1. So a guy with a relatively high floor, and with Phoenix not having really any other rookies in this roster, he should just get a lot of run. So those three, I'm pretty sure will be starters. I don't know where else they go with the other starters, to be honest. Could you get some Gabe Brown? Sure. I really don't know where else they're going to go, so I'm going to be on Twitter looking for that. But three guys I know for sure will start will be Goodwin, Todd, and their rookie. All right, final game here. We got the Clippers, and we got the Jazz. So for the Clippers, some guys that I think are just a bit underpriced. Xavier Moon, Jason Preston, two guys that stand out to me. I expect both to start in the backcourt. Preston's a guy that can stuff a stat sheet. I mean, you saw in somewhat limited action last summer league, just a guy that can do kind of everything. And a 5.5K, I think he's a pretty safe play. Xavier Moon, a guy that a little bit more score independent, but also can stuff the stat sheet as well. So I like both the two Clippers cheaper guards here, that being Preston, that being Moon. And also pretty high on Diabate going into the second year. Didn't get a ton of run for the Clippers in the regular season last year, but a guy that can block some shots, a great rebounder, can score around the bucket as well. So I'm familiar with him because he went to Michigan. So yeah, Diabate, Moon, Preston, I think my favorite options. And then you got rookie Kobe Brown is 6.3K. And also rookie Jordan Miller, 5.6K. I think that would be the starting lineup, if I had to guess, would be Preston, Moon, Miller, Brown, Diabate. So those guys I would mainly be looking to. Also, though, they have Broderick Thomas, who bounced around some NBA rosters for a bit over the last couple of years. And he was on Boston Summer League team last year. He put up some big games, a guy that can put the ball in the buckets. He could also start over maybe one of those rookies. But I think those 5 guys I mentioned, plus Broderick Thomas, probably the only guys to be looking to for the Clippers, unless we get news that for some reason some random guy is going to start for them. But that's mainly where I'd be looking to. And then finally for the Utah Jazz. So for the Jazz, we got to keep an eye on some news here. Samancic got banged up at the end of Thursday's game. So not sure if he's going to play. I looked on Twitter, couldn't find anything. If Samancic is out, then you should get a bump for 2 guys. I would think that being Vernon Carey Jr. Even though I don't expect him to play huge minutes, he probably would play a little bit more. And then Mika Potter, 4.9K. I think those 2 would get a bump in minutes. Both guys about a fantasy point per minute. So Potter 4.9, I probably would prefer to Carey, but those 2 would look a little better if Samancic is out. And then the 2 guys that are the main interest in would be Abache and rookie Keontae George. Abache has just been shooting like 20 plus times a game. I see no reason why he won't continue to do that, especially if Samancic is out. So he stands out as a really good spend up. Also has small forward eligibility, which is nice. And then rookie Keontae George has looked solid in his games. Like last game, went for 15, 6, and 5. A guy that can contribute in a lot of different ways and does have the shooting guard eligibility. So Abache, George, and then the front court guys, Carey and Mika Potter. Samancic, if he does play, I think is a fine spend up. I think I would rather play Abache over Samancic, but another guy that I definitely would still have interest in if he is able to go. Off the bench, I mean, maybe a little bit interested in a guy like Johnny Juzang. Minutes, maybe around 20-ish. I think an okay tournament play, but I think there's probably going to be better value unless he picks up the start. So I don't really know if I get to anyone else here on Utah. And yeah, so that'll wrap it up for the video. So again, guys, if you're looking for more content for DFS, I'll have an early slate video up on Patreon. I'll have a player pool for this. I'll project the starters. I'll be in the Discord all day answering questions. We'll do a live stream. There's a ton of content, and you get prize picks too. If you sign up for the Summer League package, you get those prize picks included as well, which we having a great day. It could be a phenomenal day, depending on what happens here in this last couple of games. Yeah, so if you guys have been enjoying the YouTube content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Good luck on the slate, and enjoy the rest of your night.